Everybody seems to be getting SWOT analysis wrong. Now, the SWOT analysis is a tool that's widely used by business strategy teams, portfolio management offices, and sometimes business analysts to look at the various factors that surround an organization. It helps them to set objectives and to generally make decisions in and around the business. You'll probably be aware of the fact that SWOT analysis stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The problem is that you've got this model that proliferates around the internet, and when I say proliferates, I mean it's pretty much every other SWOT analysis model I've seen looks like this, and it's actually incorrect. First of all, we've got strengths and opportunities. They're seen as helpful. I'm okay with that. Weaknesses and threats are seen as harmful. Once again, I'm okay with that. I'd prefer to just say positive and negative, but let's just say helpful and harmful, plain English, that's absolutely fine. This is where the issue comes in. Strengths and weaknesses are classified as internal, and opportunities and threats are classified as external. Now that is totally incorrect. SWOT analysis has got nothing to do with whether or not factors are internal or external. Let's say you've got a really cushy relationship with the local NHS that provides you with one of your best and biggest contracts. Now that isn't an opportunity or threat, that's a strength, but it's external. Likewise, let's say you've got 3 of your 7 directors going on maternity leave at the same time in around 6 months' time. Now this is something that's totally internal to the organization, but it's not a strength or a weakness, it's actually a threat because it hasn't been realized yet. Opportunities and threats have got nothing to do with whether or not something's external. Opportunities and threats are risks. Risks are things that are unrealized, and they can be both positive and negative. So you can see quickly how classifying strengths and weaknesses as internal and opportunities and threats as external is very limiting in a SWOT analysis, and actually it doesn't allow you to get the fullness out of it. Instead, I prefer to classify SWOT analysis as things that have been realized, strengths and weaknesses, or unrealized, or things that are still potential in opportunities and threats. So realized versus potential. You can see that I'm looking at SWOT analysis from a time factor as opposed to an internal or external factor. If you look back at the strength that we identified earlier, that contract we have with the NHS that we've identified as a strength, we might identify some weakness here, because we might say, actually, yeah, we've got this excellent relationship with the NHS, but actually that's causing us to be very dependent upon this contract. That might open up some ideas to some opportunities that you have. So you might say, actually, there's potential for us to do better marketing. There's also the potential for us to land more contracts that are the same or as good as the one that we have at the moment. Lastly, from threats you might identify the threat that if we lose this contract, it's very detrimental to our business. Another threat that you might have identified is that there are more competitors that are now entering within our field of work and who can actually challenge for the contract renewal when that comes up. So you can see by identifying that strength, we're able to identify weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So that in a nutshell, I think is a really good way of using SWOT analysis. Helpful and harmful is fine, but internal, external, we're gonna scrap that. And instead we're going to look at SWOT analysis through the lens of realized and potential. Remember, we're looking at this factor of time. So that's SWOT analysis in a nutshell. There's actually another tool called TOES analysis, which is just SWOT spelled backwards. And that's a really useful tool because it does a similar thing to what we've done today. You can identify these various factors, then look at your factors through that lens of SWOT analysis to see if you can then populate other areas of your SWOT analysis board, and that will help you in your decision making moving forward. I hope this has been really useful. If it has been, please hit the like button, share it with people who maybe will find it useful as well. And if moving forward you find this kind of content, agile project management content useful, please do hit the follow button. Thanks a lot.